Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nogwazi Ntombela, also known as Gwazi Bear. On all social media platforms, do subscribe, be a part of this family, and if you're returning subby, welcome back, darling. Guys, we are back with another Senzo Meyiwa trial updates. I left off last week where I said I'll catch up with you guys this Friday to give you basically an analysis of what has happened this week in court. So let's get right into our video.
And I'm bad like the Barbie. I'm a doll, but I still wanna party. Pink felt like I'm ready to bend. I'm a 10, so I pull in a 10. Like Gabby.
So last week we ended the proceedings with the request for the transcripts for the 27th of October, the 27th of November, as well as the 5th of March. And when we adjourned, the arrangement was made that the transcripts would be received on Monday and the court will then proceed on Tuesday. On Monday, we had some scandals, guys, because a report broke out in the internet was a buzz with regards to Zulu and a pending case against him. Now, if you ask me, the timing of this little leak of information was very convenient, considering the fact that Zulu had been pressing so hard on issues relating to the NPA and the processes and procedures that should have been followed with regards to all of the complaint about assault. So the timing for me, very convenient. I'm not going to get into the details of the court the case that they have against Zulu, but bottom line, the internet was abuzz on Monday. Mind you, we had no court proceedings on Monday, so it was just an issue of everyone was in panic, wondering what would happen on Tuesday. Would Zulu be arrested for these charges, alleged charges? Would there be like drama in court? But we had to wait and see until Tuesday. On Tuesday, when we got back to court, the lawyer then just said that he had received the transcripts on Monday, but they were only for the 27th, and the transcripts for they were only for the 27th of October. The transcripts for the 27th of November as well as the 5th of March were only made available on Tuesday. Now, given this, the defense was obviously provided with the transcripts, and Zulu still didn't have any questions with regards to the transcripts. And Umnisi, based on how fiery he was last week, I would have expected him to have questions for the witness, for Kininda, but surprisingly he didn't. He just said the transcripts basically speak for themselves. He didn't have any questions, and if you ask me, in all honesty, I feel that the defense was a bit rattled by the news that had come out on Monday with regards to Zulu. And if you ask me, it was basically a kind of warning to the defense. If I'm being quite honest, it was a warning to the defense to say, listen, if you guys are going to keep pushing with this case, we're going to bring dirt on you. That's just my opinion. But Mnisi didn't have any questions. He said the record spoke for itself. And Ngumalo didn't have that many questions, but the one question that I liked that Ngumalo raised, who is the defense counsel for accused number 4, was the issue of the diary. So Kininda all along had been telling us that for every transaction or interaction that he had with the accused, he would jot it down in his diary. Now the question that Ngumalo had was all the entries in this diary in your own handwriting? And only then did we find out that no, a colleague of Kininda's was writing down and he signed. And according to processes that need to be followed, these diaries need to be taken to your superiors, and they check, I think, on a monthly basis or so, to see like what things that you follow up with regards to the people that report to you and all of that. But that is an issue that obviously will be dealt with in arguments, I suppose. But that was basically the main question that Nxumalo had for Ukininda. Then Mshololo started to cross-examine Kininda, and it was a bit of a rocky start on Tuesday, I will admit. And there was a mistake that Mshololo did just before she cross-examined, whereby she said she is going to ask a few questions to the witness on behalf of accused number 2. Now, my understanding is that accused number 2 has his representative, so Mshololo shouldn't have used that. But also, the judge himself has said on numerous occasions that the defense shouldn't try to capitalize on the mistakes of the witnesses, and I felt like he tried to capitalize on a mistake that Mshololo made, and he kept wanting to quote cases just to emphasize the fact that she was wrong in saying that she is asking the questions on behalf of accused number 2. Okay, so on Wednesday, then Mshololo continued with her cross-examination of Kininda, and the most interesting questions that she asked were towards the end of her cross-examination, where she touched on the issue of Umchiyako, who was said to be the representative for accused number 2 at the time. And she then poses a question to Kininda, that did you know that Mchiyako was actually a member of the SAPS? Which is funny because Kininda said numerous times that Mabena, who was part of his unit, was working with him, and he was working with the intelligence. Now, it is said that Mchiyako was part of this intelligence team, and I find it very odd that Kininda would say he did not know Mchiyako. So basically what this means is that the representative that represented Untanzi, or who was said to represent Untanzi back in 2020, Mchiyako wasn't an attorney, but he was an attorney for the SAPS intelligence unit. So my question is, how did Untanzi get this attorney? Right? How did he get this attorney, who is an attorney for the SAPS, an attorney for the crime intelligence unit in South Africa? How did Ntanzi? How? But anyway, and then the last question which Mshololo asked, which was a drop mic kind of moment in court, she then asked Kininda if he had ever been accused of coercing accuse people in any case into making confessions, and Boloyi objected to this, saying that it is character assassination. But from what I have gathered, Kininda was involved in a high-profile case of, I think it's Ronovan Kretscher, if I'm not mistaken, and the accused in that matter accused him of the very same thing, and it was said that there were payments that were made to bribe certain people to actually make confessions in this case. I'm not saying what is what, but there seems to be a pattern in the way that Kininda conducts his investigations. Right, and then on Wednesday we then had a new witness who was Captain, I think Captain or Colonel Swanepoel, who was responsible for the Silverton police station, and he basically brought evidence with regards to the OB books. And in all honesty, at first I thought, what a waste of court's time, because we had already had Kininda, Mohani and Mohola basically going into details about the OB books, and here we had now this captain who was doing, excuse me, the exact same thing. I didn't get it. I didn't understand where Baloyi was going with this. But as he continued to lead his evidence, I realized that the main reason for this person to come and testify was for Baloyi to try and prove that incidents are reported in the OB book. Whatever happens in the police station is reported. So it's basically to say that the accused allegation of assault is basically not true, because he went through certain records in the OB book where one of the prisoners was sick and he was vomiting and complained of neck problems, and basically that was all in the OB book, which illustrates that the OB book is used to report any incidents in the police station. But my thing with this is that those incidents that were reported in this particular OB book had nothing to do with the police assaulting. So basically it was just the person being sick, so obviously they needed to report that. And in any case, I don't think the police would report themselves for assaulting a person. That's just my thought. But yeah, that is where Baloyi was going with that. The cross-examination took a wild turn when Mngome Zulu started cross-examining this witness and touched on the issues that nobody expected, because he went into the details with regards to the procedure. Firstly, when transporting an accused and what happens if a car breaks down. Mr. Swanepoel, or Colonel Swanepoel, basically gave us a brief understanding as to what is meant to be done when a car breaks down. They're supposed to secure the prisoner, they're supposed to get alternative transport and the works. And as we know, according to Mohane, he had a breakdown of a car and he basically waited with the accused at the garage to have this car fixed. Dodge. Yes, Dodge. And also Mngome Zulu questioned with regards to how soon a person needs to appear before the court and what is the process that needs to be followed. And by just the answers that the colonel gave, guys, the procedure was not followed at any point when Ntanzi was in custody. So that is going to be interesting, especially when it comes to the arguments in this regard. The cross-examination of Swanepoel was completed very briefly, very quickly, and we adjourned yesterday, where Baloyi basically indicated that the state will be bringing their very last witness today, and the witness would be the dentist that apparently examined Ntanzi at some point. So let us get into the proceedings for Friday. Okay, the proceedings for Friday, we had the dentist that allegedly or apparently examined Ntanzi. And from our knowledge, or from what we gathered, they sent Ntanzi to the dentist to basically check if he had a gold tooth at any point in his life, because there were some stories, or there was an allegation that the people that entered the house, one of them had a gold tooth. So they took Ntanzi to a dentist to have that checked out. And now the issue that we all had with regards to the dentist is that when the record of this dentist was read, he seemed to go into a lot of detail with regards to other medical conditions or other medical examinations that had nothing to do with dentistry. So all of us were anticipating this doctor. We wanted to know what he would say about this, and it was interesting. So he led his evidence, and basically told us what are the things that he checked with regards to the accused. And he basically says, as a dentist, he checks from the lower waist upwards. Now, I've never studied medicine, but I've never been to a dentist who checks anything but my teeth. I've never been to a dentist who checks anything but this area. So he says they examine from the waist up, and the questions that came up a lot during cross-examinations were the fact that he did not firstly strip the accused when doing these examinations, so he couldn't have been able to tell that the accused was assaulted on his body. And based on the examinations that he did inside the mouth, he couldn't have told, or he wouldn't have been in a position to tell us that the accused was choked. Now, he basically went into detail as to a different kind of assault, where he spoke about strangulation, and he spoke about beating, and he spoke about being hit. And the version of accused number 2 was never that he was physically beat up. So those kind of outer sort of appearance or the outer appearance of an abused person or an assaulted person wouldn't have been applicable to accused number 2, because he did say that he was suffocated with the plastic bag, and a dentist will not be in a position to tell us if that was indeed so just by examining this portion of the accused. So it was very interesting, the debate that went by in court. The cross-examination was fire. Mnisi was on fire when it came to his cross-examination, and we basically had all of the defense counsels except for Unumalo cross-examining the doctor, and in conclusion, this doctor is unable to tell us that Ntanzi was or was not assaulted. So the state bringing this doctor in didn't really help the state's case, and those were the end of the proceedings. That was the end of the proceedings for today. We then heard Baloyi telling us that the state has now done or has closed their case with regards to all their witnesses, with regards to the trial within a trial. So next week, Monday, we will proceed with the defense, and we will find out what the defense will bring for us, whether they're bringing their own witnesses, whether the accused will be put on the stand. So it will be interesting. We're getting closer to the end of the trial within a trial. We are really excited. Well, I am really excited and cannot wait to see if the judge will actually accept these confessions. But based on the evidence that has come forth so far, I don't think these confessions should be used. I don't think they should be admissible. There's a lot of wrongdoing, although we cannot prove any assault on the accused. There are major loopholes in the state's case, major inconsistencies with the witnesses, which raise a bit of doubt, and the state needs to prove without reasonable doubt. Is it without reasonable doubt? Yeah, without any reasonable doubt that their case is basically solid, and right now kunama doubts. So those were the proceedings for this week. We will see you guys, or I will see you guys next week, Friday. No, I will see you guys next week Friday, when I give you the breakdown of what transpired the whole of the week. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you in my next one. Bye.